Now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 501st episode of TSR Live. We are brought to you by Gorilla Mind Rush, which is the #1 supplement for focus, productivity, and energy on the market today. It is Thursday, August 15th, 2019. It is good to have you guys in today. As always, we're streaming live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, so however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. A special thanks goes out to Russell H. with his $100 contribution. Russell H. donated $100 earlier this morning, so I'm giving him a special shout out here on the air. You guys can also contribute at my Streamlabs link. That is Streamlabs link. That is streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe. Again, that is streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. Woo, off to a rough start, but we're going to go ahead and do it here. Let's go ahead and get right to it, guys. Yesterday was part 1 of the video breakdown of a ridiculous video put out by a female YouTuber who goes by the name Pageantine. Well, today is part 2 of that video breakdown, so I'm going to play the video from the beginning. I'm going to play the first 2 minutes and change from yesterday to get everybody up to speed, get everybody caught up. Then I will continue where I left off and break it down from there. Here we go.
Hi guys, how are you? So today I wanted to talk about a certain topic that I feel like goes on a lot nowadays, and not a lot of people talk about it or really address it or tell you like the warning signs you should look out for. I know so many girls personally that I know that get into relationships, and even I've been at fault for this, like getting in relationships with guys that are just possessive and like emotionally abusive. If you can spot the warning signs and the red flags, I think it can save a lot of time and a lot of heartbreak further down the road. So I wanted to go over a couple things really that I've noticed just throughout my life of dating guys, and just some red flags to look out for that maybe even in your current relationship you could take a step back and be like, is he possessive? Is he controlling? I know a lot of girls that are with controlling, possessive boyfriends that don't let them do anything. Let's start with number 1. Not wanting you to go out with your friends or hang out with your friends or do anything, especially being 21. You know, you are faced with a lot of the times your girlfriend's wanting to go to the club or wanting to go to the bar and get drinks. And if your boyfriend is kind of hesitant to letting you go out or not wanting you to go out or just completely not letting you go out, or else they'll like threaten to break up with you, yeah, that's a definite red flag of a possessive, controlling boyfriend. I could not be with someone like that. Personally, I'm a very free spirit. I like to do what I want when I want. I don't like people telling me what to do. So for a girl like me to let that down and to let a boy control what she does takes a lot of manipulation that you might not even realize is going on, but it is going on behind the scenes. And that's what's making you, you know, choose a boy over your friend. So many girls, and this is why I don't really like being friends with girls, so many girls, when they get in a relationship, they completely cut off all of their friends. They don't text you anymore. They don't hang out with you. Like, they literally, it's almost like they get put on house arrest with their boyfriends. Like, they can't hang out with you. They can't do anything. I've noticed that a lot with friends in the past. Like, as soon as they start dating someone, it's like immediate. And some girls enjoy that. Some girls want a boyfriend so they can do that. And a guy comes along and it just gives them a reason to like be completely dedicated to them.
Okay, so that's where we left off yesterday. So now we're going to break off. Again, this is going to be part 2. I'm breaking this into a 3-part series because even though this is a 10-minute video, but again, like I said, there's just so much red pill truth, so much to break down here. If I did this all in one episode, we'd be here all day. So here we go. Part 2.
Make sure if you're in a relationship, do not lose your identity, do not lose your independence, do not lose your self-worth. You can have a life away from your relationship.
Okay, so she says, now here's the thing, guys. Independence is she says independence is very healthy, right? Now, what she said here is correct. On its face, it is indeed correct. No, a girl should not lose her identity. No, a girl should not lose her self-worth. She shouldn't lose her independence, and yes, girls should definitely have a life away from their relationship and boyfriends. But here's the difference in what she's saying versus what she means. This is a little bit of womanese 101 here. When she says don't lose your identity, it should mean keep your personality. It should mean maintain the personality traits that attracted him to you in the first place. Your kindness, your sense of humor, your selflessness, your femininity. But what she means is never change for a man. Don't let a man change you, which also means if you had traits, characteristics, and habits that are conducive to cheating and deceit, keep them just in case you decide to branch swing to another guy. When she says don't lose your self-worth, what it should mean is that he picked you for a reason, and that reason is because you are worth it to him. If you don't think you're worth it to him, you will subconsciously sabotage the relationship by lying, cheating, and being insufferable because you think, or sometimes even know, that you do not deserve him. But what she means is you're an amazing person, no matter what you do or how you act in a relationship. And never forget, girl, he is lucky to be with you. When she says don't lose your independence, what it should mean is don't become a neurotic, codependent, high-maintenance girl that drives him crazy. Keep yourself together and understand that he is your boyfriend, not your babysitter. But what she means is do what you want, when you want, how you want to do it, and who you want to do it with. You're independent and nobody can tell you what to do, not even a boy you're dating. When she says that you should have a life away from your relationship, what it should mean is that time apart helps you both recharge your batteries. So go to lunch with your friends. Have girl talk over coffee. Hang out at your place and be silly and talk about life. But what this girl means is get away from your boyfriend and go to the club, go to the bar, and re-download Tinder. He's not the only man on earth, and he needs to be reminded as often as possible that you have options and that you will replace him if you need to. Having a life away from your boyfriend also allows you to keep a couple of backup guys on standby in case he messes up. Every bit of advice this girl is giving to females will end up blowing up their relationships if they follow this advice. Girls are very good at saying things that are true when spoken, but because of their double meanings and undercover sabotage, women take this advice thinking that it's good advice because they've heard the same thing when they actually got good advice. This chick is leading lambs to the slaughter. This is what happens when girls think they know how to keep a man happy simply because men throw themselves at them left and right. Listen, 10 years from now, this chick is going to be singing a much different tune. But at that point, she'll be blaming men that she's still single. So here's lesson number 4. If the phrase, I want to keep my independence, comes out of the mouth of a girl you're seeing, do not commit to her. She is telling you in no uncertain terms that she's going to do what she wants regardless of what you say or do. You see, guys, what you have to realize is that when you're seeing a woman casually, the interactions you have during this process is sort of a quasi-negotiation. She is going to do and say things to see what she can get away with, and you're going to let her know with your actions what you will and will not tolerate if she angles for commitment later on. That's the negotiation. A girl who's sleeping with you always has a long-term relationship in the back of her mind if she likes you enough. If you are her plan A and not her backup plan, it will be obvious. If you want to know the signs that you're a woman's plan A and not a plan B, C, or D, go back and watch episode 438. Anyway, every girl you date casually, friends with benefits, every one of them, they're all going to test her boundaries. Every girl is going to see what she can and cannot get away with. If you let her get away with going to the club when you're just in a friends with benefits arrangement, then she's going to expect to get away with it if you guys make it official. Well, wait a minute, Donovan. You said that if she's not your girlfriend, you can't expect her not to go to the club. If you haven't made her your girlfriend, Donovan, you can't expect her to act like your girlfriend, Donovan. That's what you said that came out of your mouth. 100% correct. That is exactly what I said, and that is exactly what I mean. But if a girl you're seeing goes to the club, withdraw your attention and make yourself scarce. Whether you're in, and again, this is before the long-term relationship. If a girl you're just seeing casually, friends with them with benefits, no commitment, if she goes to the club, withdraw your attention. Make yourself scarce. This shows her that if she wants to go hunting for bananas and cucumbers, then you're not going to give her the privilege of your company. And this sets a precedent. Subconsciously, guys, when this happens, you will know exactly why you all of a sudden decide not to hang out on a Saturday night after she went clubbing on Friday night. She'll act like she doesn't know the reason, but she'll know why you've pulled back. So at this point, if she's entertaining thoughts of a relationship with you, now she's got a choice to make. She can either continue to go to the club or the bar if she well, I'll put it to you this way. She can either go to the club or the bar, or she can keep you around. If you allow her to have it both ways, before you're in a relationship, she will rightfully expect that you'll allow her to have it both ways when you are in a relationship. Again, you're not putting a gun to her head. You're not trying to control her. You are simply allowing your actions to inform her that her actions have good consequences and bad consequences. The consequence that occurs based on her action is her choice and hers alone. And she makes that choice with her actions.
It doesn't have to be you two together every single second, every single day. Like, trust me, independence and having your own time for yourself is very important and very healthy in a relationship. Okay, so let's say you do happen to go out. A sign of a possessive boyfriend is someone that will blow up your phone while you are out. Like, let's say you're in the club partying with your friends. He's blowing up your phone, like, answer the phone, call me, blah, 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 blah. Like, and you're like, bro, I'm in a club. It's loud. Like, I can't, no, like,
Okay, now she's 100% right here, guys. When you're blowing up her phone when she's at the club or at the bar with her friends, it's a bad look. But this is why you do not commit to women who go to bars or clubs. If you commit to a female and you don't let her know before you commit that you do not date women, you do not get into relationships with women who go to bars and clubs, then that's on you. You can't get mad at your girl for going to bars and clubs if you didn't inform her that you don't commit to women who go to bars or clubs. She is simply doing what you allowed her to do. That's not her fault. That's your fault.
Like the guys that don't understand that when you do get that time alone, that you don't need to be spent on the phone all the time, texting them all the time, calling them all the time. You need to have trust in a relationship. He should be able to trust you to go out with your friends and trust you to make the right decision.
In what universe does a man, red pill or otherwise, in what universe does a man trust a woman to make the right decisions under the influence of alcohol and her banana gobbling friends in an environment teeming with men who are actively trying to sleep with them? This chick is missing the boat on what most American girls miss the boat on, and that is assuming that they do not have to earn a man's trust. Girls like her assume that if he is sleeping with her, that he trusts her. And that is never the case with 5%ers, red pill guys who have themselves together. Yes, there should be trust in a relationship, but it should be earned, sweetheart, not given. The men you really want to be with know that you can't be trusted in these situations. So they act accordingly and make sure that you don't put yourself in these situations by telling you that he doesn't commit to girls who go to bars, clubs, or any other environment that tempts girls to cheat. So here is lesson number 5. If your girl tells you, if we don't have trust, we don't have anything, she is trying to create enough time and space to cheat on you. Period. End of discussion. 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10. When girls say this, they've told their boyfriends that they've made plans with their friends to go somewhere and do something, and it usually spans over a couple of days, which means they're spending the night somewhere. Like the weekend getaway at the beach with the girls. Or maybe a 3-day, 2-night music festival with her bestie. The boyfriend smells BS, and he calls her on it. And when he does, she uses the, if we don't have trust, we don't have anything, get out of jail free card. Girls use this phrase when their boyfriend's instincts kick in and lets him know she's up to something nefarious. Girls also like to say, well, I told you this 2 months ago, as if to imply that because she gave you advance notice, she must be telling the truth, which means you should just believe her. And when you express that you don't believe her, she says, if we don't have trust, we don't have anything, which means it's time to let her go, because this phrase is a telltale sign that she is trying to step out on you. And by the way, lesson number 5.5, 5.5, any girl who says bro is guaranteed to have masculine traits and mannerisms. These are the girls that burp loudly in public, they fart and they laugh about it, they scratch themselves, they pick their wedgies out with people looking, they pick their noses and all that stuff. These girls are disgusting and should be avoided at all costs, even for a one-night stand, because you might actually have a booger eater on your hands if the word bro comes out of her mouth. Real talk. Real talk.
And he shouldn't need a step-by-step playbook of what you're doing.
A step-by-step playbook on what you're doing. I love how she just took it to the extreme when she said step-by-step playbook. And women do this all the time, guys, when they want to make you look like you're being extreme and unreasonable in order to get away whatever it is they're trying to get away with. They disingenuously use an extreme example that is clearly a false representation of what's really happening. So, for example, if a friend of hers texts her boyfriend to let him know where she is and what she's doing, girls like her like to say, well, you don't have to give him a step-by-step playbook for him to trust you. Nobody asked for a play-by-play, hun. She's checking in from time to time to keep him informed. It is what he required of her before he committed to her. And she is complying as she should if she wants to keep his trust. Girls also like to characterize a man's requirement to refrain from girls' night out as keeping her under lock and key, or keeping her under house arrest, like she said earlier in the video, as you guys all just heard. Girls like to use this technique to once again shame you into allowing her to engage in bad behavior or to get out of something that you ask her to do. What? You want me to dress up when you take me out? It's not like we're going to a black tie event at the White House. Girl, you don't have to tell him where you are or what you're doing. He's not your father. Guys, if you want to kill two birds with one stone and become the most productive you've ever been while also supporting the show, you need to get your hands on the #1 supplement for productivity, energy, and focus on the market, which is Gorilla Mind Rush. Gorilla Mind Rush helps your brain operate much more efficiently, which means you get a lot more work done during the day. It's like a car that normally gets 400 miles per tank, getting 750 miles using the same amount of fuel. This is the way Gorilla Mind Rush works. The best part about Gorilla Mind Rush is that there is no crash, guys. None whatsoever. You are hyper-focused and hyper-productive for hours at a time with zero crash, zero letdown when the effects wear off. Now, because of this, you don't get that brain fatigue or that malaise that you do with other supplements. To get your hands on what I use myself to crank out this kick-ass content day after day, go to donovansharpe.com/Gorilla Mind Rush. Again, that is donovansharpe.com/Gorilla Mind Rush. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. You can also find it in the description. Let's continue.
To trust you, if that makes sense. This is a big one that I've actually had happen a lot in relationships. Not wanting you to post certain pictures you look good in, or not wanting you to post certain outfits, or not wanting you to wear certain things, like not wanting you to wear a crop top, or not wanting you to wear a bikini, not wanting you to take pictures in it, like just little things that they're just projecting their insecurities onto you, and they're kind of afraid that another guy will come along or will treat you better.
Listen, here's where the rubber meets the road, guys. And one of the biggest points of contention in most relationships. When girls post sexy pictures of themselves on social media, they are doing it for 1.5 reasons. The half reason is for attention, right? The likes, the heart emojis, the compliments, all that fun stuff. The full reason, which is the main reason, is to advertise themselves. Girls who post pictures of themselves by themselves on social media are telling the world that they are for sale. They are advertising themselves to the highest bidder, and that's all there is to it. You see this all the time, guys. A girl will post pictures of nothing but herself in all sorts of sexy clothing. Well, she's supposedly in a relationship. Where is the guy? But you go to the guy's Facebook page, it's him and her all the time, but on her page, it's just her. This is the reason that men have a problem with their girlfriends posting pictures on social media. They are a house that has been sold, but there is a for sale sign in the yard. If girls want to post pictures of themselves on social media, fine. But don't expect dudes to be all right with the fact that you're wearing a for sale sign around your neck. That's how this goes. Right? When a guy has a problem with a girl posting a picture on social media, it's not being insecure. It's him having a problem with his woman acting like she's single when she is not single. And girls always love to say, well, they're just pictures. When they know damn well that these pictures are a lot more than just pictures. Guys, I don't have any statistics on this, but I would venture to say that, 60% of infidelity probably starts on social media, and that's probably a conservative figure. Every day, her ex-boyfriends are sliding into her DMs, telling her how sexy she is, and about how he was an idiot to lose her, and about how they should hang out sometime. Social media, gentlemen, is how women keep that connective tissue to guys they have slept with, guys they are sleeping with, and guys they want to sleep with. They post these pictures to stay in their consciousness and to entice yet more men to give them attention and possibly earn a roster spot. Any female who is in a committed relationship who posts sexy pictures of herself by herself isn't in a committed relationship as far as she's concerned, and that's all there is to it. They know this, their boyfriends don't. Again, if you're wearing a crop top and a bodysuit and all this sexy stuff and you're taking selfies with your boyfriend, hey, he's got no problem with that, right? You look good, he looks good, it's all good. But when it's by herself, oh, no. That's the for sale sign. This chick wants to say that men don't want to wear their crop tops or bikinis or anything sexy, and that's simply not true. Guys, I love it when Devin wears a dress and heels when I take her out. It's hot, and it turns me on. There isn't a man on earth who doesn't want his woman to look sexy when she's with him. But what we do have a problem with is when they look sexy for other men. Yes, we realize that men will look at you when you're out with us. You're looking good, it happens, and we know this. But when you're dressed in crop tops and yoga pants and skippy outfits that look like they're painted on, and you're not with us, and then taking pictures and putting them on social media, you're advertising yourself to men on and offline. A man in demand a man in demand has absolutely zero issues with his woman making an effort to look good for him and only him. He does, however, have a huge problem with a woman who's advertising herself by wearing suggestive clothing when she's not with him. And by the way, the term projecting insecurities doesn't mean a damn thing. What does that even mean, right? It's just something that women made up that sounds fancy and psychologically accurate to, once again, to shame men into being okay with her acting as though she's not in a relationship. This is every female's go-to argument when they debate you. You're projecting, sweetheart. You can't spell projecting. Then, of course, she makes the statement that every banana gobbling female likes to say to justify them putting themselves on the market when they're supposed to be off the market, which is, oh, he's afraid somebody's going to come along and treat me better and steal me away, blah, 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 blah. No, sweetheart. Nobody's afraid of anything. That's not it at all. The issue is that we expect you to act like a woman who is in a relationship. And advertising yourself to other men, which is what this is, by posting pictures and videos all over social media, dressing like you're going to the club when you're not with us, is not the behavior of a woman in a relationship. If that's not what you want to do, fine. If you want to act single, fine. Be single. But calling men crazy for having a problem with this behavior, it's like calling men stupid for not wanting to buy a car, but for wanting to buy a car, but still driving around with the for sale sign in the window. If you want another guy, then by all means, knock yourself out. But you're not going to do it on my time. Do it on your own time, as in while you're single. This is another disingenuous ploy that females like to use to try to have it both ways, which again is being in a relationship, but being allowed to act like she's not in a relationship. It doesn't work that way, sweetheart. Not with men who are worth a damn anyway.
Will do that, so definitely look out for that warning signs. If he doesn't want you to be posting pictures of yourself or like looking good in a photo or even taking selfies at all, girl, you need to say bye to him because he is crazy and you need to get out while you can. Being passive aggressive of what you do in your life, like not really directly saying it, but like being like, oh yeah, and you did this, oh yeah, remember when you did that, like little comments under their breath is definitely a sign of manipulation. And
okay, so this girl is as dumb as a baseball bat because passive-aggressive men are not controlling. And men who manipulate aren't passive-aggressive. But she does have a point here. Girls don't like passive-aggressive men, and that's all there is to it. If you have a problem with something your woman says or does, tell her. Be direct. Tell her, hey, knock it off, and be done with it. Never be afraid to check your woman, guys. She may not like it at first, but she will respect you for being direct. Guys, I'm here to tell you, females loathe passive-aggressive men because it is a feminine behavior.
trying to control you, so definitely look out for that. This is a big thing. If you and your boyfriend happen to go out together and they like get mad at what you're wearing, like you come out in a bodysuit with some jeans looking like Khloe Kardashian, and they're like, yeah, no, you're not wearing that. Boy, how insecure are you? Because pretty sure if I'm with you, that means I like you, and
Wait.
Look out for—
Wait, what the hell was that? Let me rewind that. What in the hell was that?
Trying to control you, so definitely look out for that. This is a big thing. If you and your boyfriend happen to go out together and they like get mad at what you're wearing, like you come out in a bodysuit with some jeans looking like Khloe Kardashian, and they're like, yeah, no, you're not wearing that. Boy, how insecure are you? Because pretty sure if I'm with you, that means I like you, and
watch. What? Yo, wait a minute. Wait. Dude, that right there, that little whatever the hell that was, that is a telltale sign of a girl who's been hanging out with black chicks. That body language and the way she just said, boy, how insecure are you, screams, I hang out with black girls and try to emulate them. But it also says something else. That little head gyration choreography, that's what dumb girls do, and they cannot articulate what they're feeling. Okay, we've already established that this chick probably ain't too bright. Now, you never know. Let's not pass judgment here. You never know, okay? Unless you get a girl by herself, because every once in a while you will meet a girl who acts a little ditzy, but is surprisingly good company in the way of conversation and insight. It's rare, don't get me wrong, but it does happen. So when girls have even a modicum of intelligence, they're a little more able to articulate things a little more smoothly. But this chick is at a loss for words when she's describing being out with her boyfriend, and I think later on she says looking on fleek, which, by the way, is a phrase that tells the world that she spends at least 8 hours looking at her phone. But she describes the feeling she has when her boyfriend doesn't want her to wear certain things in public, but then all of a sudden her shockingly narrow vocabulary reaches its limit, and she has no idea what to do because she's run out of words. So she goes into these gyrating head convulsions that all stupid girls do when they don't know they've reached the end of a sentence but can't really finish their thought.
out for those. That is legit just a blank sign. I'm trying to control you. I don't want you to wear that. I don't want you to feel good. I don't want you to feel pretty.
Okay, so be that as it may, she's actually right again here. Guys, listen, if you're a man who doesn't want your girl to look hot when she's out with you, then that's a you problem. There's nothing wrong with your girl looking good when she's out with you. But when you look at this girl's body language, it just screams entitled bratty banana gobbler. All that head bobbing and getting close to the camera and all that other nonsense just tells us what we already know about her. And that is that she is a 21-year-old who looks like a 31-year-old with the mind of a 13-year-old who thinks she looks like a Kardashian, which, by the way, is not a role model your girl should have. So lesson number 6. If a girl you're seeing has role models like the Kardashians, Miley Cyrus, Kesha, I don't even know if she's still around, Cardi B, Amber Rose, or sneak tippos like Taylor Swift or any other female celebrity who glorifies, sleeping around and popping bottles and getting fucked up and all that craziness, do not commit to her. Have fun with her. Okay? Use her for sex, but do not make her your girlfriend, because if you do, you can't complain that she's branch swinging like her role models. You think Kim Kardashian wasn't checking for another dude before she broke up with Reggie Bush? I don't think so. Well, who should her role models be, Donovan? I don't know, but I know who her role models shouldn't be, and I just gave you a short list. Start from there and work your way down.
They want you to feel low about yourself, so you feel like you need them. Like you can never find anyone better. You need this man. That's what they're trying to do, so look out for those signs, girls. I'm telling you. This one fits the time of year. Getting mad about your Halloween costume, like, oh, that's too slutty, that's too this, that's too that. Oh, you look like a total blank. Oh, you want to look like every other girl. Like, it's Halloween, and if you're going to a Halloween party, you don't want to be dressed like a nun when every other girl has their butts out and has their boobies out and is looking on fleek. You don't want to roll up in a freaking sheet like a ghost. No. Like some things.
Okay, so now she's talking about Halloween. And listen, Halloween has evolved with the overt promiscuity of today's female. You see, back in the day when I was a kid, most girls wore costumes of varying degrees and were more or less meant to celebrate Halloween. Some costumes were unique, some costumes were funny, some costumes were very well made, some costumes were actually quite creative. Every once in a while, you'd see a girl dressed suggestively, but they were the outliers, right? Listen, those, guys in their late, mid to late 30s, early 40s, guys in my age, Gen Xers, okay? There were really only two, maybe three costumes that were ever revealing on purpose, and those were devils, cats, and nurses. Okay, and it wasn't really that often when you'd see women wearing those. Maybe a few on college campuses, but by and large, most girls tried to keep it clean. Even the activities were basic, right? You dress up, you go to a Halloween party, laugh at the silly costumes, have a few drinks, bob for apples, pass out candy, all that other fun stuff. But here in 19, Halloween has devolved into a slut walk that isn't called a slut walk, which makes it what I like to call Slutoween. Every costume is revealing. Every costume shows more skin than material, and every costume now is absolutely slutty. It's no longer just cats, devils, and nurses. Oh, no. It's cats, devils, nurses, cops, angels, and pirates. You name it, girls have figured out a way to make a costume suggestive. There's even a slutty Marie Antoinette costume out there. I kid you not, you guys can look it up. Now, your girl looking good when you take her out like she's looking like she's for sale when she dresses up in her Halloween costume that could probably fit in a Ziploc bag are two very different things, right? Even if you're with her at a Halloween party, she is still advertising herself. The only reason she wants to go to a Halloween party is to show every guy there every body part, right? Okay, maybe there's an outlier situation. Maybe you dress up as Clark Kent / Superman, your girl dresses up as kind of a slutty Lois Lane, and she stays by her side. Fine. But we're talking about the norm. We're not talking about the outlier. Honestly, the way girls dress for Halloween now, she may as well go dressed as a menu. Boobs are 10 likes, legs are 20 likes, ass is 50 likes, and so on and so forth. But here's the thing. I talked about the outlier. Here's the thing. She ain't talking about going to a Halloween party with you. Oh, no. She's talking about going out to celebrate Halloween without you. She doesn't want you around when she's dressed as Slutty Red Riding Hood doing tequila shots with the big bad wolves. Plural. So this chick would have us believe that she's referring to going to Halloween parties with you when she clearly is not. And the reason she wants to go to a Halloween party showing more skin than a bikini model is exactly the same as going to the club. She wants to put herself on the auction block for the highest bidder. Girls like to say that's not what's going on to make men sound like they're insecure or worried. But there is no other reason women go out dressed in next to nothing and then go into buildings where there are men. If your girl wants to go to a Halloween party without you, guys, I'm here to tell you, your relationship is over. You can deny it if you want to, but many a relationship has been violated in more ways than one on October 31st. Trust me. Yesterday, I had on Rollo Tomasi, and as usual, he dropped gem after gem. If you want access to that stream and other exclusive content not found anywhere else, become a patron at patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. This past weekend, I released a number of videos from the Lost Archive, like episode 24, on how I narrowly escaped a false domestic violence accusation, episode 25, which was 3 unintended consequences of living the red pill life, as well as the 2.5-hour podcast I did with Alan Roger Curry, which was his very first appearance on my show. For just over a quarter a day, you can get access to my entire archive starting from episode 1. I'll be releasing one a day, and seeing that I'm on my 501st episode, you're going to get a tremendous amount of quality content for pennies a day. That is patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Let's continue.
It's just like part of the theme where girls dress like that, like going to raves or like Halloween. Like, you just know how girls are going to dress. And like, if they don't want you to dress like that, even though you're going to a place where everyone's going to be dressed like that, he is definitely insecure and like that, definitely trying to control you. Yeah. Constantly wanting to go through your phone, or like, let's say you get a text message and they like look at your phone, or like pick up your phone before you do, or like unlock it and read it. Like, things like that is like, you should have your own space. You should have your own phone.
Translation: you should be able to set up cheating and or lineup backups without his knowledge. Guys, this is so obvious. The reason girls hate it when you go through their phones is because they have something to hide. It is that simple. This isn't complicated. Both men and women know this. When a female is protective of her phone, she is telling you that she is a free agent. Okay? Now, when you're just seeing each other casually, going through her phone is ridiculous because she's not your girlfriend. Again, never expect a girl to act like your girlfriend if you haven't made her your girlfriend. But when you're in a relationship, your girl should have zero issue with letting you see her phone whenever you want. A technique I heard about just recently when vetting a woman for a long-term relationship is when she angles for a relationship and she says, hey, I think we should take this to the next level and make it official. You say, you really want to be my girl? She says, yeah. You say, you might want to think about that. I'm really not an easy guy to be with. She'll say, well, what do you mean? You look her right in the eye and say, unlock your phone and hand it to me right now. When she freezes like a deer in the headlights, and she will, because nobody's ever told her to do this before, you'll know right then and there that she's A, sleeping with other guys, which would be fine if she hadn't just asked you to be in a relationship, and B, she's not relationship material. If a girl really likes you and wants to be with and stay with you, she'll have no problem letting you see her phone. She'll have no problem giving you the password because she's got nothing to hide. When a girl says she has nothing to hide from you but has a password on her phone that she won't tell you, she clearly has something to hide, which of course is other dudes she's sleeping with. So here's lesson number 7. Any woman who has a problem with letting you see her phone is a woman who will have problems staying faithful to you. It's that simple. Guys, her phone is where she keeps all her secrets. Her phone is where the dudes, is where the dudes communicate with her in 27 different ways, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, dating apps, text message, whatever. It's all on her phone.
You shouldn't be scared about who might have texted you.
Oh my God. And there it is, guys. Why would she be scared of who texted you when you're around your boyfriend? Simple. Because it's another guy you've slept with, or sleeping with, or are trying to sleep with. That's why. She just told us right there the one and only reason she doesn't want you going through her phone. She doesn't want you to see all the nudes she's sending to other guys. She doesn't want you to see the conversations between her and her friends about the guy who pounded her out last night. She doesn't want you to see any of that stuff, and that's why she doesn't want you to go through her phone. And by the way, guys, while I'm thinking about it, here's a pro tip. If you ever are going through a girl's phone, and we've all done it, so don't act like you haven't. Don't act like you haven't. Don't act like you aren't. Don't act like you wouldn't. But if you go through a girl's phone, don't pay attention to the text threads between her and other guys. You're not going to find anything there because, again, she'll either delete certain text or delete the entire thread altogether. Girls are experts at hiding their stashes of bananas and cucumbers. No. Look at the conversations between her and her friends. I have never caught a girl cheating by discovering a thread between her and another guy. It is always, without question, a conversation between her and her friends. Women lie to men, but they're mostly honest with other women about men, especially their best friends. So don't look through the conversations with guys. Look through the conversations with her best friends. Anyway, once again, she said that trust should just be there, right? Once again, showing that today's women have no idea that men these days already have an inherent distrust of women, and that high value men require women to earn their trust. Trust should just be there. Why? Because you just said it? No, get out of here with that.
There just should be that trust, and the reason I'm saying all these as red flags is because usually these type of guys go on to be the abusive partners, the ones that end up, emotionally, physically abusing you.
Guys, this is straight up parroted BS. So she's gone from going through your phone to being physically abusive just like that. This again, guys, this is a shaming tactic. No man wants to be thought of as abusive. Women know this because if there is a false accusation, you're in jail for 72 hours. So in order to keep men away from their phones, this girl is telling women that guys who ask to see their phones will end up physically abusing them. Think about how silly that conversation is. You let him go through your phone, girl? Yeah. Girl, you need to watch out. Today, he's going through your phone. Tomorrow, he's going to give you a black eye, girl. Watch out. Give me a break with that. Everything a man does to make cheating harder somehow escalates to physical abuse. If you give him your password, he'll give you a black eye. If you tell him where you are, he's going to beat you up. If you make conversation with men in public, when you're with him, he's going to smack you around. So girls are using physical abuse, which, by the way, doesn't require hard evidence to prove guilt, to literally scare men out of doing what's necessary to keep them in line, accountable, and faithful. And this narrative, guys, it's gone mainstream. Anytime a guy even suggests something like going through a girl's phone, he's looked at as an abuser because of videos like this. Save yourselves the trouble, guys. If a girl hesitates even a little bit when you ask to see her phone, friends with benefits is the highest label she will ever get from you. There is no way a girl like this will stay faithful to you
in life. And as the relationship progresses and as you don't set boundaries and you let them control you and you let them manipulate you, the stronger they get. And then it's not enough. They want to do more. They want to get more reaction out of you. They want to, like, it's a game to them. So these are the red flags that if you just started dating someone, or even if like you're newly dating someone, you should definitely look out for and not take lightly, because trust me, girl. I've had a lot of relationships that are perfect in the beginning, and then over time, it's like completely toxic, and it is not healthy for either sides.
So what she just described there is the typical dating arc, the typical dating timeline with a man who doesn't have red pill awareness, and it usually goes a little something like this. A guy starts sleeping with a girl. It's just casual sex, but they cannot get enough of each other. The sex is great. They have fun together. Everything is awesome. 2 weeks later, the guy asks the girl to be his girlfriend, and the girl says yes because now she has commitment, which, of course, is what every girl wants. As their relationship progresses, the guy's feelings start to get stronger, which makes him more territorial, which is a natural male reaction. But before, he didn't pay much attention to her going out with her friends at the bar at night, but she always ended up with him at the end of the night, so he never really sweated it. But now that he has feelings, now he gets concerned about girls' night out because, again, there are feelings involved, right? There are feelings involved. Now, again, perfectly normal reaction. When they first started sleeping together, he didn't really pay much attention to her phone, buzzing all the time. He didn't have a problem with the fact that she always had her face in her phone. But now he glances over to see who she's texting or who she's responding to on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, who's sliding into her DMs. He's wondering who she's snapping to. He wonders if she still has her Tinder account. During the honeymoon phase, he didn't really pay much attention when she started talking about her abusive, controlling ex, who, by the way, she texted every once in a while, which wasn't a problem because there were no real feelings involved other than lust and euphoria. But now that they're in a relationship, he's not so keen on her keeping in contact with her ex. So all of these habits, all of these traits, all of these characteristics that she displayed in the beginning when there was no commitment outside of sex are still around, even though they are now in a relationship. And this is where men go horribly wrong, and it's in 3 major areas. Pay attention. The first area men go wrong is not paying attention to who she really is when your brain is flooded with dopamine and serotonin. During that honeymoon phase, you are completely blinded by the fact that she's got hoe tendencies and she displays them on the regular in front of you because you're sleepwalking through your interactions with her. The second area men go wrong is not setting boundaries with your actions when she acts, does, or says things that single girls do and say, like going to the club, going to the bar, texting her ex, disappearing for hours at a time. Again, she's not your girlfriend, so doing these things doesn't violate any commitment. But if you do not withdraw your attention, like I talked about earlier, when she acts like she's single with or without you, she is going to assume that it is okay to act single even after you're in a relationship with her. Rewarding her with your continued attention when she texts her ex or goes to the club, that sets the tone for later on. And because you are oblivious to the habits and tendencies that are bad for relationships, because you're not paying attention, like I said back at number 1, you don't withdraw your attention like you should to let her know that you are not going to reward her with more attention when she acts this way. Now, as a side note, if you don't give a damn about the girl, if you know she's insufferable and you can't stand being around her outside of sex, then there's no need to pay attention to any of this stuff. Listen, you're not going to care about it anyway because she'll be another notch in your belt. But if the girl you're sleeping with is actually good and decent company, you're going to be susceptible to catching feelings. We all are. This is just how it is. The more, and again, it doesn't matter how many plates you're spinning. The more you sleep with one female, the more susceptible you are to catching feelings. It doesn't matter. Even if she's got 100 banana gobbling tendencies, the more time you spend with her, the more vulnerable you will become. This is why I always say, if you're spinning plates, if you're having casual sex with a girl, it should be never more than twice a week, never 2 days in a row. Anyway, the third area that men go wrong, and this is the biggest area, and that is telling a girl you want a relationship before she tells you she wants one. You guys have heard me talk about this before. The reason this is always a mistake is because when you ask your girl to be your girlfriend, what you're telling her is that she has now fulfilled all of the requirements to earn your commitment. You're telling her there's nothing she needs to change and that there's nothing she needs to do. You're not saying this out loud, but this is what you are telling her when you ask her to be your girl first. You can't ask your girl to be your girlfriend and then tell her what your requirements are. It doesn't work that way. This is why girls react with accusations of possessive, controlling, and toxic when you try to set boundaries after you commit to her. You see how this works? What you're essentially doing, guys, is a bait and switch. You're telling a girl she meets all the requirements for your commitment and then adding more requirements. It's like negotiating the price of a car, right? Coming to an agreement that puts your car payment at, I don't know, maybe $250 a month, right? Then a month later, your car payment jumps to $350 for no reason. You're gonna have a serious problem with that. You're gonna feel cheated. You should. Well, girls have a huge problem with guys who commit to them and then try to set boundaries and expectations, guys. And when you do this to girls, they feel like they've been tricked. And because they can't really describe what's happening, they resort to their default programming, which is to call you insecure, possessive, and controlling. This is exactly why this girl just described a number of her relationships as perfect in the beginning. Because these guys committed first, which she took to mean she didn't have to change anything to earn his commitment, which all girls love. Of course she thinks it's perfect. All she has to do is exist and continue doing what she has to do, and she gets what she wants without having to change or do anything. Girls love getting things they don't have to work for, especially commitment. Then when he tries to lay down the law, when he didn't before, that's when she describes things as becoming toxic. So here's lesson number 8. Never commit to a female before she expresses interest in a relationship with you. And when she does, put her through her paces and make her earn your commitment. Guys, you can get sex anywhere, but she needs to give you a reason outside of sex to commit to her. And at that point, now you can vocalize your requirements and commitment. You can't do that after you commit to her. Do not throw your leverage and ability to dictate terms by asking her for her commitment first. Wait for her to express interest first. Well, what if she never expresses interest? Then she doesn't want your commitment. Well, what if she's waiting for you to express interest? Then she wants your commitment without having to work for it, which means she's waiting for you to give up your leverage so she can have her cake and eat it too. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for part 3.